Imagine this. A man vanishes in broad daylight, right in the heart of Paris. It's an act so brazen it kicks off an international crisis and a cover-up that has lasted for more than 60 years. Now, this isn't a movie script. This is the real story of the Ben Barka affair.
So this isn't some hypothetical question. It's the absolute core of a mystery that has haunted France for decades. I mean, how could a guy who challenged kings and colonial powers just be erased from the streets of a modern European capital? This is the story of Mehdi Ben Barka.
Just let that timeline sink in. From the height of the Cold War all the way to today, this is still France's oldest open political case. It's this open wound in their history that's just refused to heal, a constant reminder of a crime with connections that go all the way to the top of multiple governments.
All right, so let's rewind and go back to the beginning. To really get how this mystery has lasted so long, we first have to see the crime itself. Part 1. A Paris disappearance.
It happens with the shocking simplicity. It's October 29th, 1965. Midday on a super busy Paris boulevard. Two men, who say they're French police, walk up to Mehdi Ben Barka. He goes with them, probably thinking it's just some routine thing. And just like that, poof, he vanishes from the face of the earth, completely swallowed by the streets of Paris.
You see, to understand why he was targeted, you have to get that there were really two sides to Mehdi Ben Barka. On one hand, you had the brilliant intellectual, a gifted mathematician who had actually tutored Morocco's future king, Hassan II. But on the other hand, he was this huge revolutionary threat. He was an anti-colonial icon, and he was the main organizer of the upcoming Tricontinental Conference, which was going to be this massive gathering of liberation movements from Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In the middle of the Cold War, this was a massive challenge to Western powers, and especially to regimes like Morocco's, which, by the way, had already sentenced him to death.
Yeah, a man like that doesn't just disappear without some very powerful people involved. This was not a simple kidnapping. As we're about to see in Section 2, this was a carefully planned operation, a true web of conspirators.
The plot that took him down was a pretty chilling collaboration between 3 different countries. So, step 1. It started in Morocco, masterminded by its ruthless Minister of the Interior, General Aufkir. Then, step 2. The plan was carried out on French soil, with help from French police officers and a nod and a wink from French intelligence. And finally, step 3. The crucial logistics, tracking Ben Barka, getting safe houses, fake documents, that all came from Israel's Mossad. A truly international conspiracy.
And the level of French involvement here is just staggering. This quote says it all. Their own counter-espionage service knew for 5 months that the Moroccans were planning to grab Ben Barka by unorthodox means on French soil. They had a heads up, and they did nothing. They just let it happen.
This cast of characters reads like something out of a spy novel, and their fates, well, they tell a story of total injustice. First, you've got the Moroccan mastermind, General Aufkir. He gets sentenced to life, but never spends a day in a French prison. His deputy, Delimi, actually surrenders to French authorities years later and, get this, is acquitted. The French cops who did the actual kidnapping, okay, they got convicted. But the French criminal who connected everyone, Georges Fidon, was conveniently found dead before he could testify. And the Israeli Mossad agents who made it all work, they were never even prosecuted. It's a textbook case of the most powerful players just walking away clean.
And about that go-between, Georges Fidon, he was a career criminal who started talking to the press, spilling all the juicy details of the plot. Well, just as the police showed up at his door to arrest him, he was found dead. The official story was suicide, but the timing, it's almost too convenient. A key witness, a crucial link in the chain of evidence, silenced for good.
So, with a known conspiracy involving 3 nations, a list of suspects, how is it possible this case is still officially unsolved? Well, the answer lies in what was built right after the crime. Part 3. The Wall of Silence.
The answer comes down to this really powerful and kind of scary political idea, raison d'etat, or reason of state. It's basically the notion that when a country's security or its diplomatic relationships are at risk, the actual pursuit of justice can just take a back seat. It's a doctrine that lets governments bury their secrets and their crimes, no matter what the cost.
At first, the French president, Charles de Gaulle, was publicly furious. I mean, you can imagine. His country's sovereignty had just been violated on the streets of his capital city. He promised that justice would be pursued with the greatest rigor. But that promise didn't last long.
And then came the pivot. After he was re-elected, his whole tone changed. Suddenly, this massive international assassination scandal was waved away as just a vulgar and subordinate matter. That, right there, is raison d'etat in action. The political relationship with Morocco, a key ally, became way more important than finding out the truth. The official cover-up was on.
And that official silence is backed up by secret documents. The numbers here really speak for themselves. Out of 475 pages of secret files that investigators have gathered over the years, less than a third have ever been released to the public. The most critical evidence, including a file known ominously as Document Number 1, is still locked away, protected by the state.
But here's the thing about a wall of silence. No matter how high you build it, it can't last forever. Not when there are people who are determined to tear it down. And that brings us to our final section, a quest for truth.
For more than half a century, nearly 60 years, Ben Barka's family and their supporters have just refused to let the world forget. They have fought tirelessly against a system that seems designed to keep them and all of us in the dark.
Now, the crucial legal reason this case can even stay open is pretty simple and pretty grim. There has never been a body. Without his remains, Mehdi Ben Barka is officially classified as a disappeared person. So finding his body isn't just about giving his family a place to mourn. It would be undeniable forensic evidence, and it would force the entire case and all the countries involved right back into the spotlight. So, after all these years, here's the bottom line. We know who did it. The coalition of Moroccan agents, French collaborators, and Israeli support. That's a historical fact. But the biggest secrets are still being protected by reason of state. Was the direct order given by King Hassan II himself? What exactly does that secret document number 1 say about the French cover-up? And, of course, the one question that could unlock everything else. Where is the body? This is more than just a question. It's the key. It is the final piece of the puzzle that two nations have conspired for decades to keep hidden from the world. Which leaves us with one last, pretty chilling thought. The Ben Barka affair is more than just a cold case. It's really a profound question about power. When powerful countries decide to team up on a crime and then conspire to hide it, does the truth ever really stand a chance?